So, stuff, right? We all have some, and we all want more than what we've already got. As you guys can tell, recently I bought a lot of stuff for tech reviews and unboxings, but today I'm going to show you the stuff that I already have. Stuff that, to some, might be a trash or a treasure. Me, treasures, obviously. Like to some, a little Kirby amiibo right here might just be a little pink jerk who sucks up everything in his path and destroys it. To me, it's one of my best buds. So today, I'm going to take you on a trip through all the stuff I've collected over the years. Now, disclaimer, a lot of it is going to be Funko Pops because they're just about my favorite thing to collect, but the rest of it is just stuff you can collect or stuff that you might not collect but just buy because you like it. To me, everything I've gotten over the years is a small collection of my own now. Kind of like my personality, so let's begin. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorite series of all time, Doctor Who. Specifically the Matt Smith series, Doctor number 11. I only have a few things for that I've collected for, Matt Smith or the Doctor in general. I don't want to show everything because I'd have to pull it out of a cabinet, but this is the sonic screwdriver. I actually have two of these. This one's kind of like it's supposed to trick you and make you think you actually are the Doctor because it doesn't have a button to press and turn it on. This just extends it, but it doesn't actually make it go. If you press and hold here long enough or flick it a certain way, it'll go off. There's not even a secondary button. Problem is, I can't show it off because batteries died and I don't have 3 random size watch batteries, but that's one of my favorite things in my collection just because that show got me through a lot of hard times, especially, Doctor number 11. Another thing that I have is the Funko Pop of the TARDIS. Now, this isn't, specifically for any one Doctor, it's for all of them. Police box. Anytime you see or hear it in the distance, hope is on its way, or the Doctor, or to some alien races, danger, death, dismemberment, the oncoming storm, etc. I want to say it's one of my favorite pops in my collection. I can't quite say that because I don't have that many pops that are this big. I only have about 4, maybe 3, and I have a lot of pops that I really like, but this is one of them that's definitely up there, I will say. And the other one is Matt Smith as the Doctor himself. I could have gotten the one that also has him there's one episode where he gets all this electronic stuff on his face and he gets copied and he has to fight himself, but I didn't really love it that much. I like this one a lot, just plain old Doctor, Really good performance on that show, period, of that, season. Loved it, all the seasons with Matt Smith. And the Doctor in general, I love Doctor Who. Next up is actually one of my favorite characters from the Super Mario series. This character contends for second place in the Mario series to me. It's a tie for first, and it is the Boo. I actually wanted Boo as my first tattoo. Haven't gotten him yet, just because, changed my mind over the years. Definitely want to still get one though. This one's really neat because it glows in the dark. I know it sucks because I can't really use it with Breath of the Wild on my Switch or anything like that to get extra loot. But I mean, I don't know, this is one of the ones I kind of just want to keep in the box for now until I have a reason to take it out. But yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. And the other guy who's actually, contending for, I guess not second place, but first place as my favorite Mario character, Bowser. I don't know what it is. I've always felt something when I see him on screen. He's such a cool bad guy. He's all spiky and everything like Ninja Turtles, and he's got the links and the sharp stuff on him, and his color scheme is really perfect. I don't know, I just love Bowser. I think he's so cool and hardcore. Even though sometimes he can be a big idiot, he's still one of the coolest guys in Super Mario, especially one of the coolest villains. I think there's a couple more, but he's the one you think about. Now, if anybody knows anything about me, it'll be that I used to be a humongous Power Rangers fan. I used to just love watching them, and I never knew that the combat was actually from a show in Japan, which was essentially Power Rangers. I think Power Rangers was probably one of the coolest things in my childhood that I've ever seen, just because the color schemes of the outfits, they were the OG superheroes to me. I didn't read a lot of comic books growing up, so those guys were my comic book heroes. And today, I have to show you the Green Ranger, obviously, Tommy's OG form. He is the coolest to me, and no one will ever be able to top him. None of the Red Rangers, none of the Space Rangers, none of the new ones that come out. I went nuts when I heard that I can get one of these, just because that was when I was first getting into pop figures, and I didn't really know what I was looking for until I found it. Probably one of the first Power Ranger pops I ever bought. Next up is Tommy when he turns into the White Ranger with Saba right here, the little sword. I just love this one because this was actually one of the first movies I ever saw. I don't know if this was exactly this white Power Ranger outfit, but it was definitely, you know, one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. One of the first movies I watched over and over and over again was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie with, like, who did the music for it? I think it was Aerosmith or Bon Jovi. Yeah, I think it was Bon Jovi did a couple songs for it. Really great. And to finish off my Star Wars collection, the black and gold Dragon Zord. This was a ToyTokyo.com exclusive, I want to say. I wanted the original Dragon Zord and I wanted the Megazord, but I wasn't into Pops when they were available. And I really wanted Alpha 5. I'm just looking to see which ones I'm missing. All the other Rangers are cool, but, you know, Tommy's the OG and he's the one I would go after. Other than Billy. I think Billy the Blue Ranger is really cool. There was like a glow-in-the-dark exclusive Megazord, and they should be coming out with Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa. Hopefully I can find them in like a 2-pack, because I don't want to buy them separately. But this one was definitely one of the OG, one of my favorite big pops that I bought. Definitely one of the OG, you know something's going down when you see this on the screen type of like characters or robots. I just really like that the gold and black was like their colorway, because in Power Rangers Zeo, I think, the really cool, most powerful alternate ranger was black and gold, and I didn't really like him that much, but I like the, you know, colorway. So definitely one of my favorites, one of my top favorites. Okay, so this next thing that I'm going to show you is one of those that you just expect eventually. It's actually obviously based on one of my most favorite series of all time, Star Wars. I wouldn't say this is a collectible per se, as much as it is more of a prop and a combination of one of my favorite colors, which I'm glad they gave to me. I actually tried to do an unboxing of this with my like Logitech camera, my webcam, but the audio sync was just awful for that, and I didn't know that like I could rearrange the video, so here it is. This is the, I think the Apprentice lightsaber or something like that. This is definitely one of the coolest things I've ever bought. It's like actual steel, like right here on the handle. You can get these with sound in them and vibration, but I was just being cheap. I didn't really want to spend that much, but the blade is actually really, almost cut myself because it was turned on. It's actually real, I guess like a real material you can use to spar with. Little bottom, hope I don't hit anything. You can actually unscrew this and access like the battery panel and all that kind of good stuff right in there. I want to say that's the, yeah, it's the Velcro that connects to the battery. It's one of those batteries that if anybody smokes out of a vaporizer, it's pretty similar to, but it has like a little nudge on the end that's a little different, but it's really cool. And it has vents on the bottom so the sound can come out. I really like this one because it kind of has some like of my, you know, my favorite character from Star Wars inspiration for the bottom part of the hilt, Darth Revan. And of course the color of the blade is one of his, and it's my favorite color. Could be a little darker, but I'm actually gonna go to this website that I got this from and eventually buy one with a little, you know, more purple color I want with Darth Revan's design in mind. This one is actually from Saber Forge. I've been following those guys for a while, looking at their stuff, really just trying to find something to get from them, and saw this on sale for their, what was it, $100 lightsaber sale or something like that. This thing's really awesome. I'll find myself some days just waving it around in my apartment, and then I'll just like accidentally smack some stuff. And it's just really fun, you know? Sometimes they'll change the blade out because you can actually unscrew this from here, and then they gave you a little blade plug that looks like, well, they gave me one that looks like Iron Man's reactor, his arc reactor, the triangular version, which is really neat. So I don't know, just something nice. Sometimes I go to the bathroom and just turn this on at night when it's dark and I don't feel like turning the light on, and just go a lot of fun. God, I'm so dorky. Next up is an object from one of my favorite video game series of all time that I'm so glad I found out when I did, just because it ended up being a game that consumed my life for years. Although a lot of people really hated the new version of it that came out, and one of the last games that came out before that, the ending really sucked. You'll know as soon as you see it, but I still love this object. This is the, I want it to be a little cool. This is much better. I forget exactly what it's called, but this is it. This is the Omni Tool. The Omni Tool from the Mass Effect series. I think these things are so cool. I played the first game, and how they weren't really introduced, I guess. I played the second game first, Mass Effect 2, and they were just kind of like a well-established thing already, I guess, and they just kind of appeared, and you could like hit people with them. I thought that was so cool. I did everything I could to use the powers with this, and I think in the third game, or Andromeda, you could use it all the time. Now we know how Andromeda ended up, and Mass Effect 3's ending, and I didn't really hate it that much, by the way, but Andromeda really sucked. It blew it. And I feel like they can kind of come back if they do what is that game? The Hello Games game that everybody wanted to play so bad and it sucks and it just came back out. No Man's Sky, there we go. If they can do what they did with No Man's Sky, great. If not, oh well, at least we tried to love it. But yeah, I think this is probably, I'm not afraid to show this off because I can just say, oh, it's just from Mass Effect 1 and 2. If somebody says 3 or Andromeda, I'll be like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. But yeah, this is one of the cooler things I have. I'm really proud of it. I kind of wish I would have gotten it when it went on sale, because I saw it at GameStop like 8 months ago and bought it 3 months ago, and it was on sale for like 30 bucks. I bought it for 60. I was like, what the heck? And you know, a little stand for it to sit on. Kind of broke mine, but if I just kind of sit it on there, it's cool. So that's one of my cooler things that I have. Next up isn't something that you can really collect. I mean, you can. People absolutely do. It's not something that I really collect. I just kind of liked them, so I bought them. And a couple of the friends I was working with at the time at my old store that I worked at, we were all kind of looking at these, and they're still into them, so am I. These are the Jordans, of course, they'll come up. Not too much of a sneakerhead. Used to be kind of, you know, dabbling a little bit, but these are the Jordan Air 1 Chameleons. I know, not Airs, but Jordan 1 Chameleons. These also came out in 6 as well, but I just really wanted the ones because of the look to them and the little, I forget what they called them in Phineas and Ferb, but the little nubs at the end, the kind of ombre look they have, which is really neat. And I got them a little dirty, but the chameleon look at the bottom as well with the translucent. Well, it's not really translucent anymore, but it was, I promise. Yeah, these are one of like a couple of my favorite pairs of shoes that I have. And these obviously, Space Jams. Everybody's heard of these, seen these somewhere. Really cool. The last version of them came out while I was still in high school in 2010, 2009, 11, something like that, I don't know. And these came out in 2017, 2016, I guess. They re-released. I don't know. I just think they're really neat. I always get compliments on them when I wear them because they have kind of a dressy look. They're fun to wear out. They have the really thick lacing right here, kind of the shiny plasticky look, translucent bottoms, dirty, of course. I wear them. I don't just buy shoes and hang on to them. 45 from when he was playing baseball. And it's really cool. And I didn't know that these this little tongue right here just says Jumpman Jordan. I had no idea. But, you know, one of my cooler things I think I've gotten over the years. And these are just a couple of my favorite pops that I've collected over the years. 2 of the greatest women of Nintendo. Fox McCloud, Kirby, Ness. Now, these guys I just think are just really cool amiibos that I've collected over the years. A couple of them were gifts. A couple of them I just really like the way they look. I have a bunch more, as you've seen, but, you know, some of the cooler ones. And I kind of wanted to show off this shot. And since I have so many pops, I'm just going to try and show you guys. These are some of my favorite movie and television, Star Wars pops I've ever had. Mace Windu, obviously. Purple Lightsaber, Sam Jackson. Princess Leia and R2-D2. This one's actually a Resistance BB unit from one of the newer Star Wars movies. I think it's episode 8. My friend Mike from work got that for me, and it was funny because I didn't even know I wanted it until he showed me. I saw the movie and I was like, man, these are so cool. I wonder if they make pops of those. And they do. Lando from the new Solo movie. I actually really like that movie, and I love Donald Glover, so that was fun. Powerline. I was super excited to see that they made this because the day I got it, I went to Hot Topic and I was looking for a Powerline shirt earlier that day in like Target and JCPenney's and saw him in Hot Topic, knew I had to have him. And of course, Chris Farley from Tommy Boy. I made a dude at GameStop tear the whole shelf apart looking for this. It was the honest to goodness best purchase I've made of a pop figure so far, I would say. Now I'm taking you guys in my bedroom, my little bookshelf that has a bunch of pop figures on it, but I'm just going to show you some of my favorites. Obviously, you know I love video games by now. Kingdom Hearts is one of my all-time favorites. A little harder to play when I'm old, now that I'm older, and it's a little corny, but still love it. We've got Mickey with the golden keyblade. That one took me a long time to find, so I'm glad I have it. Sora in his ultimate form with the Oathkeeper and the regular keyblade. I wish it was in the black one, like Oblivion. That would be cool, but hey, I still got it. Sora, regular. Now it was Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora, I want to say. A golden Vault Boy from GameStop. Crash Bandicoot. I mean, of course, come on. Wow! Shadow Heartless, still looking for the Chase version of this one. Hopefully I'll get that soon. Halloween Town Sora. Does he have the Halloween Town Keyblade? No, he doesn't have any. Goofy, obviously, you know, Donald's somewhere around here. Actually, no, I didn't buy Donald yet. I wasn't in love with his look. Power Armor from Fallout. I think that's the one that came out around Fallout 4. Let me move these guys. Now, I know you guys are wondering, why don't you have Donald? Donald's cool and all, but I don't know. Just wasn't in the mood to buy him. Didn't really have a lot of money for him. Had to make an executive decision, and I found Riku, I believe, at that time. Riku has the coolest Keyblade design I've ever seen. I really wish I could have that in the games, modded in somehow, but some of my favorite pieces. And before we go back to the land of Funko Pops, actually my father got me this Boba Fett Star Wars figurine from 2003, I think, for my birthday this year. It was actually a really nice surprise. He's got kind of the, what is that, it's not Mos Eisley. Duh, that's Tatooine. That's, Coruscant, I want to say he's at. Kind of a cool little scene. Backpack, you can kind of shoot the stuff out of it. One of the cooler Star Wars toys that I have. And of course I have Cloud, Amiibo. Love that design, love that Buster Blade. And Player 2 version from GameStop. That's the version of the Buster Blade in his outfit from Advent Children. One of my first Blu-rays I ever bought. One of my favorite movies I've ever seen. And I actually just found out you can buy the extended version of it. Love that. And this, I've been collecting a lot of these lately. The ghost shells. I haven't been playing Destiny a lot, but they've come out with a bunch of ghost shell collectibles lately, and I'll show you the rest of them in just a sec. I don't quite remember what the name of that green one was that I just had, but this is the Evangelist shell, the original one from Destiny. Black base, the other one had a white one. Very cool look to it. I love these things. And because it was on a really good sale, to complete my ghost collection, I also bought the Amazon Echo version. It's not an Echo, but it can connect to your Amazon devices with a skill. I put a little sticker on the red dot because it was a little bright. And oh look, an exotic engram. But yeah, hopefully there's a Galahorn in there from Destiny 1. But yeah, this is actually the one that lights up and all that kind of good stuff. I want to see if I can get it to work. Let's try.
Sometimes I wonder what life would be like if I had arms. I could hold a weapon and help you fight off enemies. But to be completely honest, I think about all the armor. A full loot suit.
There we go. Sorry it took a minute. It took like 20 minutes to get him to talk. And yes, I know you guys were just clamoring for me to show you more pops. Here's Bulma and Goku from Dragon Ball, Kakashi from Naruto, Batman Beyond, Faye, aka Bay from Cowboy Bebop, Jet, and of course Spike. I mean, what would the series be without Spike? Space Ghost, definitely one of my favorites. Chase Edition, Rick and Morty, Weaponized Rick. John Stewart, Green Lantern, love that one. I wish I would put that on display a little more. Maybe I should. Naruto, The Sixth Path, Sage Mode. Didn't watch all of Naruto Shippuden yet, but this one glows in the dark, and I think that's neat. Crota from Destiny, definitely a cool translucent kind of look to it. Dark Souls 3 Red Knight, my boy Reezy, or, you know, as I know him, Ryan, bought that for me. Really cool. Definitely a great birthday present. Venom, Hot Topic Edition. Badman Vegeta, always love this look. And of course, Kratos and Atreus from God of War, love that game. And Shenron from Dragon Ball Z. Back into the bedroom, definitely got to show you guys my Stranger Things collection. Got all the boys here, Mike, Will, Lucas, and Dustin. Ghostbuster Edition. And Dart, actually was really lucky to come across him. Chase Edition, mouth closed. Over here, we've got Saitama from One Punch Man, and Leon Kennedy, my boy with the shotgun, Resident Evil style. And we got a little art from my boy Ian Westart. Go follow him on Instagram, he's really awesome. He's actually drawing one of my next tattoos I'm gonna get. Couple more of the Amiibo figures over here. Had to show you, forgot to show. One of my favorites, Toad. I don't know why, he's just adorable, and I think he's fun. And of course, just to give you guys a little break from the Funko Pops, Tentomon from Digimon. Just in case nobody knew, I love Pokemon, but Digimon actually came out being my favorite, just because the Digi-Evolutions were so cool, and they can always be reverted back. I love how nothing's permanent. And before we start to wrap up, do you guys remember when pre-orders didn't cost you $200 for something you kinda didn't want, and you got stuff that was really cool? Because I do. This is Cole's backpack from Infamous. Definitely one of my favorite collectible purchases I've ever made. I don't know where I put it. I actually wore this today, so I had to move the signing around. Infamous 2, sorry. Definitely one of the cooler things. It's actually really useful as a sling backpack, and it has Sly Cooper on it. Good old Thievius Raccoonus man himself. Shoutouts to Sucker Punch. Definitely one of the coolest gaming companies that's out there. Now these guys right here, as far as Funko Pops go, have very special meanings to me. All the other ones, I have favorites that I like more than some of these, but as you can tell, Hagrid here's outside of the box, and I never do that, but gave this one to my grandmother when she was sick, before she passed. God rest her soul. Love you, Mom. Took it out of the box, and then my Aunt Sharon actually gave it back to me when she passed, and I don't know. I always keep this on my desk right over there. Very meaningful to me, and I love seeing it every day. And I love Hagrid and Harry Potter, of course. Piccolo. It's funny how they actually gave him the number 11, because that's actually one of my favorite numbers. And Piccolo is probably my favorite character from Dragon Ball Z, next to Trunks, of course. Well, not next to, I guess right beside. I love both of those guys. Trunks because the purple hair and the sword, and, you know, he becomes a big buff Super Saiyan. Piccolo just because, I mean, come on, it's Piccolo. Now, what's special about Dumbledore here, and Piccolo, I don't remember which, but one of these guys was my very first Funko Pop that I ever bought. I think I bought these both at the same time, to be honest with you, and that's what started my addiction that you see before you today. Now it's come down to my two favorite collectibles that I've ever had. Now, not a lot of people collect Super Nintendo cartridges, but some people do. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. If you know anything about me, you'll know this is probably my all-time favorite video game. Definitely started my love for RPGs before I even knew what that meant. JRPGs became a huge thing for me after I started playing these games, and I really love the design of the guys, like in the game. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Like, their little pixelated kind of look. I kind of want to get Bowser and Mario tattooed on me at some point. I think that would be a really good tribute to how important that game was to me. And then, of course, Revan, my boy. The mask, obviously I have the tattoo. The lightsabers, the robes. Look at that. These lightsabers, I'm definitely buying, replicas of them from Saberforge eventually. And I'm definitely getting the purple one tattooed on me. Except, color corrected and all that kind of good stuff. Now, I've been waiting a long time for this Black Series figure. Saw it when it first came out, couldn't get my hands on it, finally found it on sale, so. These things, I definitely would be willing to get like a safety deposit box for, and are probably my favorite things in my collection. So yeah, all in all, that's basically it, guys. A little bit of my collections tour / bit of my room tour for my new apartment. I guess that's the first time you guys have seen anything other than just this space. Those were all my collectibles, things that mean something to me, things I've seen over the years and liked. If you guys have any collectibles you want to share with me, just drop a link or a comment below, let me know. Hopefully you learned something new about me today, or saw some things you didn't expect to see. Obviously you expected to see the Star Wars stuff, I mean, who doesn't? But other than that, thank you guys for watching. It's been Towfur. Peace out.